few videos back, I did the unboxing of this rifle because I am mega excited about it. But it is now on the table after full testing. Well, my rack and load testing anyway. If you want to see the absolute ultimate test of this rifle, go on Beretta's website where they put it through the NATO standard test, where they freeze it. They put, I think it's 120,000 rounds through it. Overheat it, the lot. They basically just test this thing to the extreme. They even ram a bullet head down the barrel and then fire it and the thing doesn't blow up. It's just amazing. Go on Beretta's website and watch that. It'll blow your mind. It'll really convince you about this rifle. It certainly has with me. Hi guys, this is Rack and Load. Sorry, bit of an intro there. God, I'm losing my voice already. Loads to talk about with this rifle. It is just such an impressive rifle. Right, let me throw out some specs first of all. So this one is in 308. It is a straight pull rifle, okay? On Beretta's website, they call it their linear reloading system, but to you and me, it's a straight pull, okay? This, like I said, 308 Winchester. Barrel length is 570 millimeters on this one. Oh God, I need to just confirm. No, 510 millimeters on this one. They do go up to 570 millimeters. Sorry, I'm going in metric. On the 3006, it is the same. On the 300 Win Mag that they do, that is a 620 millimeter barrel. 5-shot magazine on the 308, like I've got here, and the 3006 and the 300 Win Mag. Receiver is matte black anodized, coated, so you know it's not going to corrode or anything like that. The trigger is adjustable in 3 weights, so it starts from 900 grams and it goes up to 1,500 grams. We'll weigh that in a bit because this is literally like straight out of the box, so I've not touched it. That is the same trigger spec on all of the caliber ranges, basically. Unloaded weight on the 308, it is 3.3 kilograms, 3.3 kilograms on the 3006, and 3.35 kilograms with a 57 centimeter barrel and no scope on the 300 Win Mag. Again, that's the same for, you know, the 308 and the 3006. What a cool rifle, guys. Lots to talk about here. So, God, where do we start? Right, I think first of all we've got to talk about the mechanism. So it is really an ingenious mechanism on this rifle. Now, basically, people are going to be thinking, oh, it's like a cheap blazer. It certainly is not like a cheap blazer. It is a lot cheaper than a blazer. But I don't know if a blazer has gone through the full NATO test. I'm not sure about that, but this thing has, and that is what impresses me with this particular rifle. Right, as you can see in the footage, I am a left-handed shooter, and you guys, if you watch the channel, you know I'm a lefty by now. This is totally ambidextrous, so you can swap it round to full left hand or full right hand, okay? And it will eject from either side. Yeah, but Rack, why didn't you adjust yours to left hand? Guys, honestly, I'm that used to using a right-hand bolt now. It's just second nature to me. So it would have felt weird anyway for me. So I just kept it as it was. But you can swap the bolt round to the other side. Now, before we sort of jump into all that, let's talk about the mechanism because there is quite a lot to talk about here. So, like on a blazer, where you move the lever and the lever sort of moves and unlocks it, so to speak, and then the action comes back. On this one, it doesn't. It's quite an ingenious way they do this. And at first, I've got to admit, I was a little bit nervous about firing this rifle. A bit silly, yeah, I know, because obviously they're all tested. But until I sort of learnt more about the mechanism, I was sort of like, oh, this is not going to end well for my face if this sort of comes back into my face. And the reason I say that is because this lever here, this bolt, doesn't unlock the bolt, okay, or the bolt mechanism. So I can literally grab it from anywhere. Look, I can grab it from there. I can grab it from there. I can grab it from the safety catch, and it comes open. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, there's going to be a bit more pressure when I pull the trigger with a 308 round in there. What is actually locking that thing shut? And it is so clever. So, but first, let me tell you about this bit, and then it will sort of flow into it. So, the bolt, very ingenious. Let's take the bolt out, and we'll sort of talk about it a little bit more in detail. So, it uses basically an AR-15 multi-lug bolt head, okay? And that, I think it's got I don't know, it's got loads of lugs on there anyway. I think it's 8 lug, something like that. 8 lug, and it locks in. And it's just absolutely rock solid. Now, what is interesting, and I think there are some videos on YouTube where it shows people shooting this in slow motion. And what happens is, and what people, this may put people off when they first see it, but honestly, there's nothing to worry about at all. It is perfectly normal. Oh, what have I done? Have I broke it already? Oh, Rack, what have you done? You've broke it already. No, we haven't. In slow motion, if you watch someone firing this in slow motion, when they pull the trigger, obviously they fire the rifle, the shot goes off. You'll notice that a small gap appears there, and then it closes up, okay? That is perfectly normal. So it only goes back about that much, and then it goes back. Why does that happen? Well, it is perfectly normal because basically there's this rotating bolt head. Let me just get the bolt out again. Oh God, I hate doing stuff like this on camera. Why do I do this on camera? Right. Right, let's take that out. Now that's kind of give the game away there a little bit, but you didn't see that. So this bolt head here, it will go back a few millimeters, but it'll go straight. As it goes back all the way, as you can see, it rotates. And as it rotates, it unlocks itself from the chamber, basically. But that first few mil, it is actually going straight. It's not rotating. So it is still locked in. So when you see that gap, that is what's creating the gap. That is perfectly normal, okay? So when you see that gap in some of the slow-mo videos that are out there, that is perfectly normal. It's just that the bolt is not actually unlocking from the bolt face, so to speak, in the chamber. It's not unlocking from it. It only unlocks when it rotates. When it rotates, that's when you're basically pulling on the bolt to sort of reload it. But that little gap that you see on the slow motion videos, perfectly normal. And that's all it is. It's just that initial sort of take up. It's perfectly normal for the operation of the rifle. Okay. Now, when the bolt is in, okay. When the bolt is in, as you operate this rifle, basically, when you close this, now this is a brand new rifle, so it's not super slick at the minute, okay? Probably just needs working a little bit. I'll take the magazine out. I don't know whether that really makes much difference. But as you close the bolt up, you'll notice that as you get sort of towards the last sort of bit there, the rifle almost sort of sucks itself in, basically. So that last stage, it's hard to sort of show it on camera, but on when you can feel it, when you're actually operating the rifle, it basically just sucks itself in. So you get to that stage on a real slick rifle, that is. This probably needs a bit of lubrication, but it sucks itself in on that last little bit. And what does that is a little mechanism in the trigger. The reason that is done, okay, is because on a conventional bolt action where you've got to push the bolt forward, then you lock it down, there's nothing locking this bolt in place, so to speak. But don't worry, it is locked in because it's perfectly safe. What happens is this. Let's take the bolt out. Oh, he says, why does this always happen to me when I do these videos? Oh, God. Come on now. There we go. Right. I'll show you. Now, let me get my screwdriver and I can sort of show you in a bit more detail. I'm going to zoom in, guys, so sorry if I sort of rock you about a little bit. I've got to zoom in. Right, camera steady. Right, here is the top of the trigger mechanism, okay? Now, as this bolt literally runs along these runners here, it runs along here on these runners. As the bolt gets, excuse me if I go off camera, as the bolt gets along here, there's a little button there. As it crosses that, and it will, because I've not got the mechanism in, it will basically make the trigger hammer go off. So ignore that. So as the bolt goes along these runners, it hits that. Okay, I've got to press it down. I'm not going to do it with my fingers. Now ignore this this one here because that's the hammer. Okay, so pretend that hasn't gone off because that won't have gone off until you pull the trigger. This little lever here is basically what grabs the bolt, and then that last little bit, as it sort of goes up into the mechanism there, pulls the bolt shut, okay? And that's what locks it in place. Now, what is interesting is without that, the bolt would, because it's quite heavy and with like a really nice sort of warning rifle that's nice and slick, if you put this rifle sort of on a sling or something like that and you had it barrel pointing upwards, this bolt could sort of just basically drop open because it's quite a heavy bolt. So it could just sort of just drop open and then it'll spit your ammo out and it just won't be good when you're hunting. That basically just locks it all in. Now that on its own obviously doesn't lock it in, you know, when you take the shot, because I think I'd be a bit worried if it was just that bit of metal holding that bolt in when you take the shot. What actually happens, and I know it's a bit of a pain to explain. So let's just take the shot. So we took the shot. Okay. Let's press that bit down as well. What I'll do is I'll take the trigger mechanism out. Okay. So slide the trigger mechanism out. So there is a trigger mechanism. So it's like in a cassette format. While we look at that, dead easy to maintain and clean and lubricate. So that is a real nice feature. But the reason I've taken that out is because when you take the trigger mechanism out, you'll see here, where are we? Trying to do this little lever here. Okay. That little lever there is an inertia block. And basically that's set to a tolerance where basically you can obviously operate the action like I demonstrated, holding it anywhere, and it'll basically open the gun wherever you hold it, because you're basically just pulling it. Let's zoom out a little bit. it's basically, you know, within the parameters of that inertia block, basically. I'm trying not to get too techie with you guys. In essence, it works like, imagine a seatbelt on a car, okay? So you can pull it nice and gently, like you can pull the bolt on this, pull it nice and gently, and it'll open. As soon as there's the impact of a shot being fired, it locks up, and that stops the bolt basically blowing back and smashing your face. It's dead clever engineering. It did worry me a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous about taking the first few shots on this, but obviously totally nothing to worry about whatsoever. But by the way, that is a full strip down of this rifle. Obviously you can take the barrel off. It is a multi-caliber system. More calibers and barrels will be available in due course, I believe. But look at that, for ease of maintenance. Let's put this trigger mech back in. Oh, I hate basically putting stuff back together on camera. It never ever works for me. But amazingly, with this, it seems, he says, it seems all right. I mean, I'm only wearing one plaster so far. Yeah, let's not even go there. So just to explain that in brief, I know I've probably chewed the fat a little bit. So, like I said, you can open this basically anywhere, okay? When it's locked up, you can grab it by the safety, you can grab it by the bolt, you can grab it in places where you wouldn't sort of think it'd open, but it does. And it is a little bit worrying. And if this was super slick, but it's not because it's a new gun, but if it had like tons of ammo through it and, you know, really well lubed up and everything, it would literally, this would be sort of, you know, I'd be able to sort of hold this up and it would slide back. That's how slick they do go. And that is what would happen with it without that little thing that sticks up and holds the bolt in, okay? Without that. So you can demonstrate that with basically taking that trigger mechanism out so that that little finger that locks the bolt mechanism in isn't there. And this would just look basically sort of slide free. But obviously you've got the trigger mechanism in, that is holding the bolt in. But because it's not much, that inertia block is the thing that holds everything in when you take the shot, okay? So, you know, you could basically beat the hell out of it and bang it on the table, you know, really hard, or on the floor really hard. I'm not going to do it. And that bolt will not come open when it's like, you know, when it's working its seatbelt sort of thing. Oh, that's enough techie stuff for me. You get the idea, guys. All I'm trying to say in a nutshell, it is a very, very clever bit of engineering. It's perfectly safe. That little gap that happens in slow motion, well, when you watch a slow motion video, that little gap happens for, you know, a tenth of a second when the shot's fired. I probably won't even see it, even if I slow down my footage. My editing software is not that good. My camera certainly ain't that good either. But that is perfectly normal. It's perfectly normal. Basically, it's going to there, and then that inertia block is kicking in, obviously, when the recoil is, you know, taken up by your shoulder. So it's a very, very clever system. I hope I've explained that well. I probably haven't. People will be like, right, what you on about? But it's just a clever, clever system. Magazines, oh God, I'm glad I've done that bit. That's hard work. Magazines are excellent. 5-shot magazines, so easy to load. Polymer in construction, tough. Love the way they've done them in this orange. So, you know, should make it difficult to lose them. Flush fitting, you squeeze the sides and they come out. Excellent, excellent magazines. Cannot fault them whatsoever. All polymer stock, front and rear. Well, obviously the fore end and the stock itself. The butt pad, nice soft rubber. Beretta's logo, love that. Sling swivel studs. You can get spacers, none come with the gun, you just get it like that, so it is what it is. Pistol grip, And well, stock, first of all, obviously totally ambidextrous, because this rifle is totally ambidextrous. And that is the beauty of it if you're a lefty, because you know what it's like trying to sell a left-handed rifle, you know, in the future. Very difficult, you know, it's just being a lefty, part and parcel of it. But with this, you know, if you've got it set it up, if you've got it set up for lefty and then maybe one day you need to sell it, just swap it back to righty. It's just great. What an absolute great system. Pistol grip, as you can see, sort of conventional pistol grip, stippling on the pistol grip, Beretta's logo on the bottom. Really like that. All polymer. Trigger guard there, that obviously is all one piece. You see me earlier take that out, so it is a cassette style trigger. Then you've got your metal work here. So all this bit, it is not steel, okay? Magnet test. So that's all anodized aluminium. So really tough rifle. The bolt handle as well, there is a little bit of play in it. All that is because it allows for the tolerances of swapping it around to the other side. That's all that is perfectly normal. 3-position safety, okay? So this is quite interesting. So I've got to remind myself the safety on this. So it does take some getting used to, okay? So you have to sort of press it. He says, it's hard to do this on camera. So you have to push and press. So that's the safety on. So that's full on safety, okay? So that locks the bolt up so you cannot open it. And obviously it locks the trigger. Push it one stage where you get the white and you can unload the gun, okay? But obviously you can't pull the trigger. And then push it forward again where you've got the red. And obviously it's hot, it's good to go. Pull the trigger. Picatinny rail as standard, which is a great feature on the Beretta BRX1. So you haven't got to mess about trying to locate a rail for it and get one fitted and all that jazz. Comes with it, it's good to go, ready to rock. You see in the footage, I had this exact scope because I've took it off before I put it on camera so I could show you better. Element Titan, that was the scope I was using. Probably a bit of a weighty scope, bit big for this rifle, you know, with it being predominantly a hunting rifle. But that's the one I put on it anyway, so just nice to try it. That will lead us on to accuracy in a minute. In a minute it will. Just sort of show you the fore end there. Sling swivel stud at the end. Nice texturing, nice finish on the polymer fore end. Well, there's a little bit of flex, but oh, you know, hey ho, whatever. It is what it is. That will lead me on to accuracy. M14 thread, I think it is on the Beretta. I may have got that wrong. Let me just look at Beretta's website. I think it is an M14 thread. Yeah. I'll put all the details at the bottom of the video anyway, but I'm pretty certain it's M14 thread on there, so you can can it, not a problem. That's the other side. That's basically your takedown button there. So you press that, well, you pull it as you sort of pull the bolt back, and it basically takes the bolt out. Really cool. Right, accuracy. Let's talk about accuracy. Right then, this is where it gets interesting. Now, I am going to show you my worst target first, and that was using just the cheapest cellular and bellet 147 grain ammo. Okay, this is like a box of 50. Now, bear in mind, this rifle was brand new, straight out the box. Okay, kindly on loan from Livens Gun Shop in the UK. Straight out of box, so not running. This rifle's only had a few shots through it, you know, for proof. After I'd zeroed it, 100 yards. These were the groups I was getting, and no, they weren't amazing. Okay, that was probably, those two were probably the best ones with this ammo. S&B full metal jacket, 147 grain. Group there, flyer there, and these two weren't great at all. Okay, so yeah, that was that ammunition. Then I went on to Remington core locked stuff, and yeah, loads better. I think, well, you've got to throw me into the equation now, but these are the groups I were getting. That is a 3-shot group. There's two, I think one went through, well, two went through one hole there. Same there, you can just see that 2-hole shot there. Nice group there. A lovely group there. Let's give you some scale. Thumbnail group there on a rifle that hasn't really been run in. Straight out of box. Remington core locked, 168 grain. I think it was 168 grain. I've mislaid the box. And then a Hornady match, 168 grain. 3-shot groups again, 100 yards. Now, I was basically, when I was changing ammo, I was putting a mag through for ammo first onto a gong before, you know, just to get the barrel a little bit accustomed to it. 3-shot groups. Oh yeah, Hornady match, 168 grain. Yeah, it's MOA. It's MOA. It's even better once it's running. Use your real fancy hunting ammo, which you are. You're not really going to use the targety stuff. You're going to use real decent hunting ammo. You know, this thing is going to be a laser beam. I was shooting it out of a lead sled, as you can see, my Coldwell lead sled that I use for testing. But they were the groups I got. So real world groups from yours truly. Now, oh God, guys, let's give the trigger a pull straight out of box, okay? So I've not done anything with the trigger. So let's see what it is doing. Straight out of box. Okay. Oof. 2 pounds, 9.2 ounces, straight out of box. Should we give it another one? Let's give it another one. Okay. See how accurate my trigger pull scale is. £2, 7.8 ounces. So yeah, not a bad trigger at all. Blade itself, really nice. Comfortable, nice position. The rifle comes up really well. I'm just shouldering it again, guys, sorry. It comes up so well. It's just a lovely rifle. Myself, if I was in the market for a hunting rifle now, and I've always said it, I've always liked the Seiko S20. I love the Seiko S20. Big fan of the Tikkas. But oh, guys, this, I think what's done it for me. I can't show you the footage because I'll get copyright. I'll get hammered by YouTube for copyright, and Beretta will probably spit the dummy out at me as well. But if you go on, well, can I put a bit of that footage in? Oh, I'll chuck a bit in. If I get copyrighted, I get copyrighted. No, all right, I probably won't. Whatever. I'll throw a link into Beretta's website where they basically freeze this rifle and shoot it. They have it running under like a shower and they shoot it. They heat it up to the extreme and shoot it. They block the barrel up with a bullet and shoot it. And they put, I think it's 120,000 rounds through one rifle. And it still survives. That, to me, blew it away. Okay? Blew it away for me. I thought, well, if a rifle like this, that's the fraction of the price of, say for example, a Balaza, because it is pretty similar in styling, well, not styling so much, but in operation, then it's a no-brainer. I mean, what are these are retail. I don't usually say prices, but they're retailing about 1,300 here in the UK. So bang on a decent scope, you know, you're getting a fabulous hunting rifle that is going to stand the test of time, that is a multi-caliber, that is past all the NATO testing. You know, you're going to get yourself a setup for under £2,000. So what, seriously, what is not to like? You know, not everyone wants the fancy woodwork and all that. I mean, if you're climbing over fences and you've got it slung over your back, chucking it down a rain, snow, whatever, mud, this thing is gonna, it's just gonna do the job. It's just gonna do the job. It really, really is. My only thing about it, and they didn't really test this, and I'd be interested to know, is if you get a bit of grit or sand or crap in these runners, you know, is that going to sort of graunch it all up, clog it all up, or what? I don't know. Don't know. Would that be as reliable as a bolt action when there's loads of crap in there? Don't know. Don't know. But I like it. I mean, when we're all out shooting, you know, we all take care of our guns and our kit. But guys, seriously, what a fabulous rifle. I am really, really impressed with it. It's accurate straight out of the box. It looks cool. It's so, so nice to shoot. I've not really got a bad word to say about it. Shock horror, I know. What, Rack? Nothing bad to say about it. You're not going to moan about anything. No, honestly, guys, I really, well, all right, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, back to reality. I'm gonna moan about something. I nearly had you going there, didn't I, guys? Right, the box. I'll show you the box. The box is a very environmentally friendly box. So it's not one of those crappy plastic ones that you just chuck in your attic, never to be seen again, okay? So the box is good. I like that. The only thing I don't like, and the only thing I'm gonna moan about it, is you don't get a conventional manual. You get your sort of basic safety rule manual in there. So I suppose they have to put that in there for legal reasons. But you have to download or scan the code to get your user manual. I don't really like that. I like to have a hard copy that I can flick through and savour when I've bought a new rifle. That's just me. So that's the only thing I'm going to moan about. Other than that, this is a great rifle. If you are a hunter, then, you know, and you don't want to spend silly money on a rifle that's just going to do the same job, you know, then I think this is the one for you. Anyway, guys, I am going to leave it at that. Hope this video has been helpful to you. I hope I weren't too techie at the start of it. I hope you got the gist of what I was on about. I think I just about got the gist of what I was on about. But no, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you've not subscribed. If you like the video, you know, and it's helped you make a good decision, there is a thank you button down below. You know, hit that thank you button. It buys me a beer and it helps me keep this channel going. It is an expensive channel to keep running, you know, cost of ammo, when you can get ammo, and this, that, and the other. But I'd appreciate that. That'd be really cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like that. That is the rack and load review of the Beretta BRX1. Thanks for watching. That's Rack and Load. See ya.